Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video. In this video we are going to be looking at Tye, who is a promo character and he is an alert character. As you can see, he is the second Tye I believe to come into the game. There is a 4-star version who is Fast, and if you know what the Fast character looks like, well, this is what the 6-star character looks like. It's pretty much exactly the same. I don't think he has red hair as a 4-star character. I could be wrong there, but this is what he looks like as a 5-star, and as a 6-star he gets just like, I don't know, it's truly the apocalypse with Tye. He's gone Mad Max on us, and he's got a lot of fiery stuff going on, and it reflects a lot in his kit. As we see, he looks sick though. Walker heads just on the back of his backpack and stuff, definitely geared out. He's got a lot of head protection, but not much protection like for the legs or the arms or anything. He's just like all out protecting the face, I guess. Now he is an alert character and he is classified as a damage dealer. When we look at his stats, he's got only 1,608 attack, 1,796 defense, and 1,957 HP. Now this would normally reflect badly on this character as a damage dealer. I would say this is a poor sort of reflection of what a damage dealer should bring to the game. But however, because of what his rush does, he doesn't necessarily need pure damage to deal damage, obviously. Now, he does have a high percentage rush. It's 600% damage to one enemy, so obviously you can still annihilate one character. Now, the rush itself is 76 AP cost. It's called Conflagration, and like I said, deal 600% damage to one enemy. That enemy and all adjacent enemies get 700 burn damage for 3 turns. So, obviously 700 burn damage is 2,100 damage over 3 turns. You cannot obviously stop this from happening unless you have resist mods. It's going to be pure damage. Defense does not bring this down. It works exactly like bleed, and it stacks with bleed, which is great. So if you've got a bleed team and you get this character, he's going to work great in that team in terms of the amount of damage per turn is going to be insane. Now, he has got a really interesting active skill as well. It's quite similar to the one I built as a sort of like fun project for Romanov, the alert character that's being ascended in the future as a legacy ascendable. Sort of like it in terms of 60% AP, but he also gets 2-turn focus. Now, it has got an initial cooldown of 1, and that means you can just do this first turn on an attack team. He'll get 60% AP, which is just as much as he would get for a basic attack. And then the next turn he could attack behind a shield, so you wouldn't need a bypass necessarily, and you could command rush him on the second turn. So he could get that rush off really quickly, and also the cooldown is really low, 2 turns, so he can get that off every other turn. He doesn't have to risk attacking and potentially getting stunned, impaired, that sort of thing. Now I think this guy's basically come into the game to combat, you know, some of the ridiculous characters that have come out in the past in terms of Payback and Bide, because I don't think... But Payback for sure doesn't do anything about fire damage, but I don't think Bide does either. I could be wrong there. Bide might not store up its damage taken based on bleed and burn, but I could be wrong. Now he has got a specialist skill. It is on a roll, and this is where, like, I'm not really sure. I think there could potentially have been better specialist skills for him, but on a roll's not too bad. It means you don't have to build his attack with mods and stuff. You can actually make him quite defensive to stay alive. And that way you could potentially use him on a defense team as well, and he'd be actually pretty brutal on a defense team because a lot of attack teams do not have high HP. So that adjacent attack would be absolutely devastating. That 2,100 damage is generally going to kill the entire team if it lands in the right spot. Not many attacking characters have more than 2,000 HP, to be honest. He has got a weapon as well, and it has 30% attack base. So again, you might want to swap this out to make him more defensive overall. A medium bonus to AP when attacking. You might want to upgrade this to huge. Now the last slot is when attacking, a better chance to cause 100% heal reduction for 3 turns. I don't see this being that powerful, and if you wanted to use him on both attack and defense, you probably want to swap that out so it was less of a window. You know, maybe stun on defense, for instance. But if you were just primarily going to use him on attack, you could just leave it as is. Now I think Tye is actually a pretty nice character. I don't think he's too ridiculous. The burn is the most, obviously, the ridiculous part of it all. On the defense teams, a lot of defense teams have like 4.5k HP, so to get this going, it's obviously going to take 2 turns to get this going, and then to get all that damage off, it's going to take another 3 turns. Most defense teams are going to heal up by that point, so there is obviously downsides to that. It's going to take a little bit of time to get this going, sort of like how bleed works. It takes a little bit of time to get going, and rushes are going to go off on those defense teams in the meantime. So it's hard to know. A lot of rushes do have burn cleanse as well, and full cleanses, so I think he is a strong character, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's as ridiculous as he looks at first glance, just because it's going to take 4 or 5 turns to really get the best out of him, and most defenses are going to rush maybe once, even twice in that time if they've got quite fast defense teams. So I'm not really 100% sure of this character. You need a right build for him. He could work with certain free-to-play teams. If you do pull this character, he could work with Michelle pretty well. If you've got a nice command in there as well, even a 5-star command would work great. If you've got Dale, for instance, Dale, Michelle, and this guy, he's going to be getting a second turn rush. He's going to bypass a shield regardless, and you can make him, you know, obviously do quite a lot of damage. You just need to follow up on it, and you need to make sure that you actually take characters down, because those burn kills can get revived, of course. So this is Tye. I think he's actually a pretty decent character. I don't think he's the strongest we've seen. I don't think he's the weakest, but he looks like quite a bit of fun. If you do manage to get him, I think you'd enjoy, you know, obviously getting your hands on him. Do tell me what you think about Tye as a character. That is the end of my video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.